Are we together? Okay, let me just be mentioning names. Okay, Dave John, please introduce yourself. Oh.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Am I being heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay, thank you very well. This is David.
Hello, Dave. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Right, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Okay, okay, okay. I am John D.
Okay.
Yes, streaming from Abia.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, John. Dave. It seems like where you are is noisy. So, Eunice Elijah, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elijah Shoma Eunice, and at Civil and Consultants, studying surveying and geoinformatics.
Okay. Are you a student or a graduate?
I'm a student of surveying and geoinformatics in Obunayonu Polytechnic.
Oh, that's great. Good to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Olomachi Ekeke, please introduce yourself. Hello, Olomachi, are you there? Hello. Okay. This thing is capturing my voice. My voice. My voice. Okay, seems like Olomachi is not there. So I'm seeing my boss here, Odinaka Johnson. Sir, please introduce yourself. Oh, thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good
I'm
evening.
Adnakachi Johnson Onyeforo. I'm from Abia State. I'm a graduate of Abia State Polytechnic from the Department of Surveying and Geoinformatics. I'm currently doing my top-up degree program in Unica. Okay, I'm a pupil surveyor. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Um, so with that, we will go into the GIS day proper. So I'll share my slide with you. So let me share my screen with you. Let me select my screen, share screen.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So today is 19th of November 2025, and we are hosting GIS Day 2025 event. Um, so GIS Day is an annual global celebration that brings people together to learn about geographic information system and how they shape our world. Meanwhile, GIS stands for what? Geographic Information System. So now, what's the purpose of what GIS Day? So the purpose of GIS Day is to raise awareness about the power of geographic information system, then to showcase real-world applications of geospatial technology, then to connect GIS professionals, students, educators, and enthusiasts, just like you and I are here. So we are connected here too because of this GIS Day webinar. Then to also inspire the next generation of geospatial thinkers. So by carrying out GIS Day events, sometimes some people might visit secondary schools. It's also encouraged for you to visit secondary schools and you tell them about this GIS and they'll be like, what is this GIS? They will learn about it, and then they'll become more interested in it. So GIS Day started by ESRI. Now, what is ESRI? ESRI is Environmental System Research Institute. They are the company that owns ArcGIS, ArcGIS Online, and ArcGIS Enterprise. So Jack Dangamond, let me just rush through here because we'll still talk about him later. So in 1999 was the first time it was hosted. So the reason why we celebrate GIS is that it drives innovation across environmental management, disaster response, urban planning, transportation, health, and many other fields. So GIS Day gives us the chance to share its impact with the world. So let's say again, back to what is GIS. Is it what is GIS? I think I'm through. We say what is GIS Day purpose? Okay. So what is GIS? GIS, Geographic Information Systems, are systems designed to capture, store, analyze, manage, and visualize geographic or location-based data. So what GIS does, it helps us understand patterns, relationships, and trends. It turns raw spatial data into meaningful maps and insights. It supports decision making across multiple sectors. So the core components of GIS are, we have the hardware, which are the computers, servers, GPS devices, sensors, and storage systems. We have software, which are tools for analyzing and visualizing spatial data. The software includes software such as ArcGIS Pro, QGIS, Google Earth Engine, etc. Then data, so spatial data sets such as satellite imagery, GPS points, shape files, and surveys. Then we have people. So people are like the analysts, the surveyors, the planners, the researchers, the developers, and decision makers. And then we have methods. So methods are the techniques or workflows and procedures used for data analysis and problem solving. So why GIS matters is that it shows uh, where questions with clarity, like where is this event happening, or if they say something happened, where did this thing happen, right? So you are mapping exact geographic location with latitude and longitude, and you are showing. So I don't know whether you guys have heard of a story whereby a man mapped out the occurrence of diseases, um, the people that are dying from such diseases, and they observed that the people dying from that disease were located within a particular vicinity, and when they observed, they saw that there was a water, a bowl that was serving the people there, However, there is one household that no one died. And what they observed is that that household had its own separate borehole. So from that, they were able to pinpoint that this disease is caused by the water, and the water is what um, infected or something like that. So they were able to pinpoint and solve the problem. So it answers the question of where very well. And second one is that it solves real problems. And I've already explained something like that now, like the case of the health issue now. It solves it solves real world problem. And sometimes there is this suitability analysis. We solve problems relating to suitability analysis. We make maps to guide people and then help them make informed decisions. So it says it enables smarter planning. Okay, so with GIS we can map the world exactly where it is. And there is something we also talked about, which is resource inventory. um, so when we map a particular study area, perhaps the decision makers can just stay in their office and then they can view our maps and say, oh, so there is a building here, there is this structure here. So if we want to oh, bring in a new structure, this other place should be free. So without them visiting the site, we the GIS analysts will visit the site and we map everything and we enable them to make smarter planning. So let's go to the next slide. Brief history of GIS. Okay, let me not let me not be rushing. If you are hearing me, just you can drop an emoji, you can react, so I can know that you guys are hearing me. And if I'm rushing too much, also let me know, so that I can slow down. Are we together? Okay, thank you.
I'm very, very well.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's go into a brief history of GIS. So you say Roger Tomlinson is considered the father of GIS because of his work. He developed the Canada Geographic Information System (CGIS) in the early 1960s. So he was the first person to digitize maps and analyze land use on a computer. He coined the term Geographic Information System, and his work laid the foundation for all modern GIS technologies. So he also received the global recognition, including the Order of Canada, for his work in GIS. He received that recognition in the year 2013. So next up is evolution of modern GIS. So in the 1980s, digital mapping technology became more widely adopted. Then in the 1990s, desktop mapping and spatial databases expand GIS use. Expanded database use. Then in the 2000s is what online slash cloud GIS. Then 2010 to 2020, real-time data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, drones, and 3D GIS became what the standard. So, so that's that for that. So let's go to the next one: GIS software and tools. So under GIS software and tools, we have proprietary software proprietary or licensed software. These are software that you pay to use them. So the proprietary software, we have ArcGIS Pro, ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Enterprise. Okay, so these are owned by the parent company, ESRI. ESRI stands for Environmental System Research Institute, and they also offer you free tutorials they call MOOC. You can visit their website s3.com, and then they have their training page to s3.com/training, where you can join their training. They always post their training online, and it's free. They will provide you with data sets you need to practice with, and step-by-step instruction on how to work with the data sets. They will also, during training, they'll also give you a license for the training. So for the duration of the training, they will give you that license, and then you use that license all through the duration of the training. Then after the training, they are going to cut it off. And we have open source GIS. Okay. So we have QGIS. The QGIS stands for Quantum GIS. So it's a free and community-driven GIS software. It works with plugins. Plugins are like additional functionalities or geoprocessing tools. Like anyone could want to integrate more functions into GIS. They could write what they call plugin and then install the plugins, and then you use them. So it supports a wide range of data formats. Okay, then we have Grass GIS. Usually when you install QGIS, it comes with Grass GIS. So the Grass GIS part of QGIS is just for running raster analysis. When you want to carry out raster analysis, they have different functionalities that enables you to carry out raster analysis. Okay, then it said PostGIS. Okay, PostGIS is an extension of Postgres SQL database. So I think I might be going far, but this is GIS. They will just have to touch everything little by little, so that you just have an overview of what we are doing in GIS. So PostGIS is a database whereby the spatial factor was integrated into it. So normal Postgres, you can store information such as people's name, their location, and other things like addresses, but it does not store the geometry of where something happened. But by extending it to PostGIS stores geometry. So when it stores information, there is another column called geom, storing the geometry. Geometry could be what? Points, lines, and polygons. Points could be areas of interest. Lines could be what? Roads. And then polygons could be boundaries or buildings when the scale is what? Is large on a large scale plan. Then we have web mapping. So under web mapping, we have a Leaflet.js. Leaflet.js was created by someone from Ukraine, and it's an open source GIS software. So the JS there stands for JavaScript. Okay, so it's usually based that all interactive behaviors on web pages is controlled by what? JavaScript. So because of that, almost, or will I say, all web mapping libraries are built on JavaScript. So Leaflet.js is a JavaScript module, which means that you must understand some basics of JavaScript in order to use it. And it's open source. By open source, I mean that it's free. You can use it any day, anytime, and no one will request for one dime from you. Then we have Mapbox. And Mapbox comes with its own library for writing JavaScript code. That's what it's called, a Mapbox GLJS. The JS there also stands for JavaScript. Okay, so Mapbox does similar thing that Leaflet.js does, but Mapbox is a paid platform. It's proprietary software. You have to pay for it. Once you create an account with Mapbox, it also comes with something called Mapbox Studio. So Mapbox Studio is where you can select your base maps, you can style your map, set different colors for different features or so, and make your map design. Then with Mapbox GLJS, that's the JavaScript module, you write your code to include interactivity. Like if someone clicks on this point, what should pop up? Whether should the name of the location pop up, will the picture pop up, and all those things, all those interactive behaviors. So that's what we use Mapbox GLJS to do, which is similar to Leaflet.js. Leaflet.js does not have Leaflet Studio, okay, and it's open source. But Mapbox, they have Mapbox Studio where you select your base map. But in Leaflet.js, you have to code everything. Okay, so you can see that you have to work a little bit harder if you are using what Leaflet.js. Then we have other tools such as Google Earth. Some of us are already familiar with Google Earth. We use it to download satellite imagery. Though personally, so much I've not been using Google Earth because currently, if you're using QGIS or ArcGIS Pro, you have base maps you could select from, and also you can load this Google Earth. It has a URL, okay, so you can load that URL directly into ArcGIS Pro or into Quantum GIS or other softwares. So since I can load it directly, there's no much essence of going to download it from Google Earth and come and start georeferencing it, because the one you load inside your GIS software is already georeferenced, and if you download it within the GIS software also is you can there's a box that enables you to download it as geo-enabled file, which means that once you are loading it back, it's already georeferenced. You don't need to start georeferencing it. That's Google Earth. We have Google Earth Engine. Then our ROTK GPS, UAVs, that's unmanned aerial vehicles. These are tools, okay. And light LIDAR is for light detection and ranging. So let's go to applications of GIS. One of them is urban planning. Okay. So GIS is used in land use planning, zoning, traffic management, smart cities development, and the rest. Second is environmental management. So it can be used to track what deforestation, and then wildlife habitat mapping, and then climate change modeling. Okay, so if you observe the Western world, they don't play with these things. They always take these things seriously. They track deforestation with GIS, can map wildlife habitats, and then you can model climate change. You can look at your environment, and then could observe that from your data sets that flooding have been occurring in this place. So you could actually map and predict the exact time when flooding will be occurring, and the areas that are more prone to flood hazards. So if you say these places are more prone to flood hazard, they need to be evacuated. And if they need to be evacuated, when you want to site your refugee camp also, you also know where to site them based on the information you have gotten from GIS, because you're making informed this decision. So that's under disaster response, right? And then health and epidemiology. Okay, so we use GIS to also map health data. So we could track the number of people that are affected by a certain disease in certain locations, and we could show that on a map also. So when government or decision makers want to take decision, they know where to direct most of the resources, or most of the medicines, or most of the personnel, because you can see that okay, this disease outbreak is is affecting this place the more. So we have to send more resources there and all that. So they're taking what informed decisions. These are all applications of GIS, and also business and logistics. And there's something called network analysis. People use GIS to map the best route. Let me say from the production sites to distribution sites, the best routes, and then the time it would take for them to travel through those routes. Okay, so that is also being done. So why is GIS transformative? GIS is transformative because it provides location intelligence. So it provides location based insights that guides better decision making. So it also helps us to visualize complex data in ways that are easy to understand. So it also bridges technology, data, and people to solve what real world um, problems. For tools using GIS, we have already covered them, right? We have covered ArcGIS Pro, QGIS, Mapbox, Leaflet, and then Google Earth Engine. That's the G there. Okay, so with that, I'll go into case study. So we'll be mapping Abia State. Anyway, we won't be really doing much mapping. Okay, some of us are already familiar with GIS, while some are not so much familiar. So we'll be working together. But for now, let me open the room for some questions or contributions of discussions. If you're interested, you can just raise your hand. So you can ask your question, and if you ask a question, anyone that has the answer, feel free to answer it. Okay, don't necessarily have to be the one to answer. So if you have questions, you can go ahead. Okay. Any questions or any contributions, please? Okay, Yakubian Enoch, welcome. It's good to have you here. Okay, Mr. Enoch, before you came, we all introduced ourselves. I don't know. You can also introduce yourself to us, if you don't mind, please. I, I hope we are together. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Seems like we don't have any questions, right?
Yes, go on. Let's go on. Yeah, with you.
Okay. Okay. So I said we'll be mapping Aba, right? So that will be our case study. We'll be going straight to that, and I'll be demonstrating this using what ArcGIS Pro. Okay. So as I said, ArcGIS Pro is a licensed software, and you have QGIS, which is the alternative. QGIS is open source, which means you can download it now and start using it. So if you want to if you don't have QGIS on your computer already and you want to download QGIS, let me just share my screen and show you what you can do. Entire screen. Let me share my entire screen now. So so if I want to install QGIS, what I'll need to do is I'll go to qgis.org, okay? And I'll hit enter. So this is where you download QGIS. You can select the one spatial visualization and decision making tools for everyone available on Windows, Macs, online. Also from here you can download what QGIS from this website, okay? And if you want to donate, feel free to donate. Skip and go to download, okay? So you could download for Windows desktop operating system. We have the long-term release. This is 3.40. Then the latest release is 3.44. So you may want to download this long-term release. That's 3.40. So if I click on the download button to start downloading, okay? Let's see. But I already have it installed, so let me cancel this. Cancel it and delete it. Okay, thank you. So that's how to download QGIS. But ArcGIS Pro, as I said, this is ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Pro is a licensed software, okay, owned by Esri. So if you want to download ArcGIS Pro, there are steps you have to follow to download ArcGIS Pro. But I won't be covering that now because you have to visit their website and then add this product to your cart. Once you've paid for it, you can continue to check out, and then they will give you instructions on how to download it. So this is ArcGIS Pro, and we are starting afresh. I did not create any existing project, so I want us to map together. That's why I just started it afresh, so that you're not seeing anything. You're not starting. I haven't started anything, so we are starting together now. From here now, you can see this one: map, catalog, global scene, local scene, start without a template. So this map, I can click on map and it will start with a map template, okay? This local scene and global scene, these are for 3D models. Then the catalog is for the database to enable you to arrange your files in a database structure. So I'll go with map and I'll click on map. So once I click on map, yeah, that's giving me default project name. Default project name is my project, but I'm going to change that. my project, and I'll call it Aba. You see, if I give space, it's not recommended for me to give space, okay? So I'm going to use underscore, Aba underscore mapping underscore GIS day 2025, okay? So what this will do is it will create a folder in this location, okay? This is the default location, but I can equally change the location if I want. Okay, so let me just go ahead and change the location now. Let me change the location. So let me go to home. Let's go to desktop, and I created a new folder, GIS Day 2025. So let's use this folder, okay? And then we're going to click on OK. So we are saving it in this desktop. So once I click on OK, let's see what happens. It's going to create a project. So it's creating a new map. Okay, so it has created a new map, and what this does is also creates a folder. So let me just open it here. So this is a folder that is here. Let me go back Windows D. So this is the folder GIS Day 2025, but the project folder I created is this one, Aba Mapping GIS Day. Okay, so this is the folder it created, and if you observe, it comes with a database and all this. This is the file itself. So once you open this, let me go to the view tab, then I'll go to reset pins for mapping. So this left side is called the contents pane, this right side is called the catalog pane. So when you open ArcGIS Pro, you have what's the contents pane and then the catalog pane. So it also comes with a database. Now, because we created that Aba mapping, it came with this Aba mapping GISD.gdb. So that's one good thing about ArcGIS Pro. It comes with a database which enables you to arrange your work very well. And here is folders, okay? The folder is automatically created, but there is no file here. So let's talk about data sets. Now, when we talk about data sets, you don't necessarily have to digitize everything that you need. You can download data sets for your study area, okay? So let's come here. So I seen this website, geofabric.de/Africa. So this is the website, okay? Geofabric, and you can download shape files from here. Okay, so it says commonly used formats, Nigeria latest OSM stable for this. This file was last modified 19 hours ago and contains all OSM data up to 2025 November. This file size 630 megabytes. So we have Nigeria latest free.shp. This contains shape file for Nigeria. Was last modified 18 hours ago. The file size is this, but I've already downloaded this, or I downloaded it recently, and I've saved it in this folder. So once you download it, it downloads as a zip file, and then you can extract from here. So here it is. Where is it? This Nigeria 251004. So I can right click and say what extract, or I'm seeing the extract button here, so I'll click on it and extract it. So after extracting, I have it here. Um, this data set is not complete. It doesn't finish extracting, so let's wait for it to extract. Okay, it's extracting. I hope so far we are together. I'm carrying everyone along. I hope we are together.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Eunice. Okay, my elder brother just joined us here, Mr. Jacob Otia. Welcome. It's good to have you here, sir. Okay, so we are talking about GIS and how we use it to map the world, and we use it to map resources. So we have downloaded our data sets and we have extracted it. So we have OSM buildings, OSM land use, OSM natural, OSM places. Okay, so these are the data sets that we have here. OSM railway. So note that these data sets are for the whole of Nigeria. Okay, and uh, we could add this data into our GIS software. And how do we do that? So firstly, we click on the map tab here, and here you can see this add data button here under the layers group. So now let me introduce you very well to ArcGIS Pro. You have the content pane here. We go reset panes for mapping. Okay, so we have the contents pane here, the catalog pane here. Then you have the project tab, map tab, insert, analysis, view, edit, imagery, share, and help. So all these are called tabs. Then under each tab you have groups. So under this map tab you have this clipboard group, navigate group, you have the layer group, selection group, inquiry group, labeling group, and then offline group. So uh, under this layer group, you can see this add data button. So once I click on this add data, then I can navigate to where my data set is located. So let me just click on home, go back to desktop. It's easier. Where is this GIS Day 2025 folder I created? And then we have okay, NGA admin. Okay, so I have data sets here which I downloaded online. This is admin 3, admin 2, and admin 1. Let me select the 3. Let me see if they are okay. And then I'll click on OK. So it has added these data sets. So let me turn them off and on and view them. These are the 3 data sets. So this admin 2 is for the local governments in Nigeria. You can see them. Then this admin 1 is for the states in Nigeria. Admin 0 is just Nigeria. You can see. But these 3 are not inside my database. They are just inside a folder. But I may want to put them inside my database so that they will be there and I will be working with them directly from my database. Then I can remove this one. Okay. So this is my database here. Hope you are seeing it. Now to do that, I'll click on the analysis tab. Okay. And I'll see these tools. I'll click on tools. So I'll now type feature to geodatabase, okay, and I'll hit enter. So I can see this one, feature class to geodatabase. This is what I'm looking for. Once that is done, okay, so I can select, if I click here, I can select just one by one, but if I click here, I can select multiple. You can see the options here. If I click here, I could just select one, but here I can select the three. So I'll choose this option and then select admin 0, admin 1, and admin 2, and I'll click on add. The database is this database I'm using, so I'll click on this button here, and here it is, about mapping underscore GIS day, and I'll click on OK. Then I'll just click on run here. Okay, run. So what that does is we just now have these three inside our database. Initially it was empty here. Now we have these three in our database. So let's go ahead and remove these ones that we have inside folder and work with the one we have inside database. So just in case if you don't understand what we mean, if you have them in different folders, your job is not structured. But having them inside this database enables you to structure your job. So you have admin 0, admin 1, admin 2. So I'll select these three, okay? Right click and say add to current map. It's exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. So are we together? We are mapping together. I did not download anything initially. I did not. We are just starting afresh, so we'll be going one step at a time. Another thing you may want to do when you open GIS is software, not just ArcGIS, is to set your coordinates. Now, under this contents pane, you can see map and you can see these three layers that you have. But if I right click on the map and I go to properties here, then I can set the coordinate system. Okay, you can see a coordinate system. Now this one is using geographic coordinate system. That's WGS 1984, and the EPS zip code of this is 4326. But we may want to use projected coordinate system later, but let's hold on. Let's keep that for now. We'll do that later. So now this admin 2, what we can do is we can duplicate it. This is for local government, right? Okay, let me just be showing you one step at a time. This is admin 1. This is for states. So what I can do is I can duplicate this by copy. I'll click on map and then paste. Then I'll rename this as let me say Abia State. Let me say Abia State. Now this Abia State, I'll right click, come to properties, and I'll go to definition query. Then I'll click on new definition query, and then here I'll select name 1. Now this clause is equal to what? Abia State, Abia, and I'll click on OK. Okay, are we together? So I can turn this one off, and we see this one here. You can see that it's only Abia that is selected, that is showing on your map. You can right click on Abia and say zoom to layer. Now this one is just for Abia State. Then the admin 2 is for the local governments. Okay, so let's assume if we want to map just Aba North or Aba South, let me do the same thing here. I'll copy this admin 2, click on map, right click and say paste. This is admin 2 copied, and I'll call it Aba underscore let's just leave it at Aba there, Aba. So I'll right click Aba, let me turn it on. I'll right click Aba, go to properties, and I'll go to this definition query tab, general, meta, source, elevation, selection, display, cache, definition query. I think I'll also show you how you can replicate exactly what I'm doing here in QGIS, so that if you do not have a ArcGIS Pro, you can also replicate that. So once you come to this function query, I'll come to this create, I'll just click on it, okay. Then I'll say name 2 is equal to, let's say, if I'm interested in Abba nodes, and I click on OK, guess what happens? It's only Abba node that is showing now. And that brings me also to what I was saying about downloading satellite imagery. You have base maps already here. Let me save my project. You have different base maps. So under this map tab, you can see this base map option button. If I click on it, it will load. If I want satellite imagery for my study area, I could select satellite. I can select satellite hybrid, imagery hybrid. Imagery hybrid is both satellite and names of places. So let me select this. If I select this, what happens is that the base map will update. So I have the whole world base map to work with, okay? So I don't need to start downloading base maps and georeferencing them. I have satellite imagery with which to work with. It's loading, okay? You can see. So this is satellite hybrid base map. So you can see it. And that's the Abba knot. This is Abba knot. So let's go back to our base map. Let's go back to the topographic that we are using. It's updating back to the topographic base map. But if you don't want the base map, you can also turn it off from here. Okay. You can turn the base map off from here. So you just have the Abba knot. Now this Abba underscore, we want to add Abba south also. So go back to this definition query, click on edit. You can say add clause, and we can say use the or here. Still name 2 is equal to Abba south. If I click on OK, you can see that it has added both Abba north and Abba south. Okay, so let me just open this place to discussion also. When we are talking about Abba, how many local governments constitute Abba? Is it just Abba North and Abba South, or are there other local governments that constitute Abba? Please kindly respond quickly to this before I continue. If you have the answer, please. Hope we are together.
Is it how many local government that is in Aba, or how many local government that consists in Aba?
Like how many local government make up this place we call Abba? How many local governments?
Okay, we have Aba North, Aba South, Osisioma, some parts of Ubimba, some parts of Ubunabo. I think
Okay.
that's it.
Yes.
I think I don't know. I was thinking it's only Aba North and Aba South.
No, there. Osisioma
Oh,
is also there. Some parts of
wow.
Ubimba and some parts of Ubunabo.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Albright. So,
I, I thought Aba is a local government of its own. I never knew there are other local governments under Aba again.
okay. Thank you very much, sir. So, when I first came to Aba, I knew nothing about Aba, and then people have been debating about Aba. But Aba itself is not a local government. There are several local governments that make up Aba. So, initially, some people we are arguing that Aba North and Aba South is what make up Aba. But when you are in Aba, sometimes when you are in Osisioma, you are also in Aba. But Osisioma is another local government, so you cannot say I'm in Osisioma Ngwa, I'm not in Aba. Despite the fact that you are in Osisioma Ngwa, you are still in parts of Aba. Then if you go to Oboiland, you go towards Okubo Junction, you are also in Aba. But those places are Obingwa, just like Mr. Albright rightfully said. Then some parts of Ugunabo is also still in Aba. So this Aba is just like only one in name of one place Aba, and then five local governments are coming together to to make this Aba of a place. So we are going to show those 5 local governments that constitute Aba. So back to Aba here. Okay, I can select it and go to properties again. I can edit this query. Okay, and I'll add more. So I'm adding name 2 is Obingwa. Okay, okay, let me just scroll and look for Obingwa. Moneo. Is it here? It seems like back then there was no Obingwa. It was called Obomangwa. That's what they called it. Let me apply this and see what happens. It was called Obomangwa. Or is this Osisioma? Well, let me continue. Let me just continue. Edit. I'll add more. Let me see whether Osisioma is here. Name 2 is equals to Osisioma. Osisioma is not here. Okay, it's here. Osisioma Ngwa. Then let's add Gunabo. UV. So look at it here. So we'll click on apply and we'll click on OK. So from here you can see the 5 local government that make up Aba. So we'll still go back to the geoprocessing pane because we have opened it before. Under here you can see it here. So we are going to run the same tool again. We're going to run this same tool. And this time around is just Aba, and we are using just those 5 local governments. We want to put that Aba inside our database. So we'll click on run. Now once that is completed, you can go ahead and remove this Aba here and add it back again from this one we have inside our database. So as I said earlier, the database it enables you to organize your data very well. So you have this one, I can say add to current map, and this is it, the 5 local government constitute that makes up Aba. I can style them with different colors if I want by clicking on this. Okay, and if I come to from here now, okay, let me click on the back button. So this is it. It's on single symbol. I can change it to unique values. Now use name 2, and you can see that here you have a legend. Now I can click here and uncheck this, so you can see Aba North, Aba South, Obomangwa. This is called Obingwacha. Then Osisiomangwa, and then you have Ugunabo. So this is how Aba is. So you can make a map of Aba like so, and then show to the world. You can turn on the NGA2. This is what NGA2 is not okay for this, so you can turn on this other one instead, and then we can show where Aba is on the map. So next up, you can add more data sets. Instead of clicking on this add data button, you can drag and drop. That's also something I'm supposed to show you. So let me just do that. It has places. We have buildings. I think these buildings was they don't I don't have much data for buildings in Aba. We have natural, okay, places. Let me look at this. Okay, I'm seeing road here, OSM road. So let's see. Let me drag and drop and see what happens. Can drag this and drop. It failed. Okay, so let's just follow the normal process, add data, and let's go back to are we seeing road here? Wait, let me expand this and see. It's not, there's no road here. Okay, we have road shape file. Let's add this one and see. No, 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 no. It's not this. Remove. Pa, 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 pa. Computer, desktop, GIS day. What about this thing that we extracted? Is it here at all? Okay, let me drag and drop again. Let's see. Okay, that is it. That's it. So this is the road, okay? This particular one. So I just dragged and dropped. But this road is for the whole of Nigeria. So if you observe, everywhere is just messed up. So what I can do is I can clip it to my study area. And then for my study area, I may not want to map the whole of Aba. Or I can choose to go ahead and map the whole of Aba, no problem. So what we'll do is we'll use the clip tool on this. So to do that, we'll go back to this view tab and click on this geoprocessing tokens, and then we'll type look for what clip CLIP, and I'll click on this clip tool. Now I can select the roads, and then it will be saved into my database. Okay, so I can rename this roads, just roads, and I'll click on run. Okay, so the clip feature, I have to select this, and this is Aba. That was why it did not run. So this is my input. The clip feature is this Aba. I'll click on run. Okay, so once this is done running, that's added roads that are just within Aba, but it seems messed up also, so we can still clean it up. Now that we have added this is already in our database. If you observe, there is road there. We can go ahead and remove this particular one. So we can style this road to make it much better. But before we do that, we will let's right click and go to attribute table. So from this attribute table, you can see we have this F class, primary, trunk, tertiary, and all these ones. So you can use these to symbolize our layer. Okay, let me just zoom in. I think it looks better, right? And let me turn on my topographic map. This is topographic map. Okay, so you can see that the roads aligned very well with the base map, which means that everything is correct here. So if you had not downloaded these roads, what you would have done would be to digitize. So if I do not cover digitization, that means I might be missing something very important. To digitize means to trace out features, like as this road is, because we already have it, we don't need to digitize. But had it been there was no data sets, now we could get our base map, which could be this one is topographic. Or if you downloaded satellite imagery and I want to digitize out roads, how I would have done it in ArcGIS would be to, it seems like I might be running fast, so and you might not be really following. But this is just GIS Day event. I'm just covering everything at a glance, so I understand if you are not following up very well. But at least I hope you guys are following up.
Yes, we are with you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, what I will have done would be to come to this database, okay? Firstly, and we are still working on geographic coordinate system. Supposed to change to projected. But let me just quickly show this example. I can right click on this and I'll click on new. And here I can choose data sets. A data set is just like a folder, just like if you have a drawer, you can open the first one, the second one, and the third one, and then you can, in the first drawer, you can just be putting files relating to let me say class 1. Like class 1 could be for SS1, and the second drawer you're putting only files relating to SS2, and the next one you're putting, so that's the data sets. Then you have the feature class, which is just like, as I said, SS1, SS2, SS3. So but now we won't be creating the drawer, we'll just put everything together in just one big drawer. So that's why I'm just going to this feature class, and then I'll call this one road test. Road underscore test. If you observe, I'm using underscore because it doesn't allow spaces, but for the alias I can allow spaces. So here, let me just type road test here. Road space test, like so. Now if it's a road, what features will it be? It should be a line feature, right? Not a polygon. Does this have z values? No. Output data sets to current map. So from here now I can go click on next, and here I can add fields, and I can, let me click on add. Now this field, you can call it a road name or arrow name. Road name. And then the data type, road name should be a text, right? Not integer text. It should be a text, it's not a number. And then next up I will click on next, and here is where you select the coordinate system. We are using geographic coordinate system. I haven't changed the coordinate system of my project or any of that, so everything just in. I was supposed to change it, but if you are looking for UTM zone 32 knots, a very easy way to get it is the EPSU code for UTM zone 32 knots is 32632. Okay, so if I search for 32632 and I hit enter, guess what happens? It shows me UTM zone 32 knots. Are you seeing it? But I won't be doing that. I'll just continue with the geographic coordinates, which is 4326. 4326, that's the code for it. This is geographic coordinates. Let me continue. Click on next, and then click on next and click on finish. You can observe that the road test is here. It uses the alias to save it. And next up, I can start digitizing. To digitize means to trace out these values, this what you have on your base map. So if I want to digitize in ArcGIS Pro, what I can do is I can click on this edit tab. Where is it? If I click on the edit tab, I can click on create, and I'll select this road test, and I'll select this line, right? And then I can start tracing it. So just a road test, just going to trace this thing roughly. If I trace it like so, this is what we call digitization. Just so we know that instead of downloading, sometimes we can just digitize our features by yourself, but other times you can just download and make the work faster. So now I can trace out the road. But if you observe, the roads in Aba are many. If I am to digitize all these things by myself, so if someone gives me a project to map Aba and I want to start digitizing all the roads in Aba, perhaps 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, I'm not through with the project. What are you doing? I'm still digitizing. So that's why we can use these available data sets instead of just stressing ourselves to digitizing that. If I bring it like so, is this about Owerri Road? For those that live in Aba, they are together. I can press F2 on my computer here. Okay. To end digitization. Now it has finished digitizing the road. Now, here you can see this good here. Where my mouse is. If I click on this good, then under this edit tab, I can click on save. Yes. So what this does is it has digitized this road. If I click on the map tab, this road is selected. Now under this selection group, I click on this to clear the selection. But let me turn off the base map so that you can see the road that I digitized. So this is the road I digitized. So using the same principle, we can digitize buildings. If I want to digitize buildings, I could come and change the base map to what? Imagery. If I change it to imagery, I will have buildings and all those things. But Aba is big and I can't digitize all the buildings in Aba. However, GIS has advanced to the point whereby you can use machine learning and deep learning algorithms to identify objects and to automatically digitize all these features for you. Okay, but that won't be covered in within the scope of this project. So now I can see buildings. If I want to digitize buildings, firstly I'll still come back to the catalog pane. So this is where the catalog pane is supposed to be, but look at this. I have all these tabs here. I'll come back to the catalog pane, and then here I'll click on create feature data sets. Okay, no, I'm not creating data sets. Going back to new feature class, and I'll call building. I still call it building test because I'm not digitizing all the buildings in Aba. Then next thing is, if you have so much features, your computer might begin to hang. So the alias is building test space test, right? And then building is a polygon. Polygon is already selected. It should be a polygon. Does it store Z values? No, not now. Click on next. I can add fields for building name if I want. Call it name. And name should be a text. Okay, then I'll click on next. And then this is where you select the coordinate system. It's not okay to use geographic coordinate system, especially for buildings or smaller areas. You're supposed to use projected coordinate system, but so far I've been using geographic coordinate system, but we'll continue that way. Click next, and we'll click on finish. So from there we can equally what come to the edit tab, and then we'll click on create, and then we'll click on this building. Okay, once we click on building, click on this, we can start tracing building. So this is what we call digitization. So if you haven't heard of, if someone say, can you digitize buildings for me, or this is what they mean. I can trace this building like so. Then once I finish tracing it, can right click and say finish. Then I can continue to the next one if I want. And let me press F2. Can go to the next one, anyone I like. Or if you observe, if I'm to continue like this to be till tomorrow, I won't. Abia is too big. I won't be able to digitize all the buildings. But it's just to show you what digitization means. So this is what we call digitization. Let me save this. And then we click on the map tab. And under the selection group, I'll clear this selection. So these are the 3 buildings we digitized. If I turn off the base map here and turn it on, we have it here. So far we have been covering ArcGIS Pro, and then if we continue like this, we might not finish. So before we go, okay, let me turn off this base map. Let me touch QGIS as well. Let me turn off this. So we have this. This meeting is supposed to end by 10 o'clock, so I won't be able to continue more on this. Let me just quickly open QGIS, and we do similar thing that we have done so far, and we'll end it there, please. So once you open QGIS here, you can create a new project here. Click on new. Now your project has opened, and here you have, I've opened this QGIS before. This shouldn't be open here. You have your layers pane here, and you have your browser pane. So here is called your browser pane and your layers pane. And then we can save this project. We haven't saved it. Let's save it to desktop GIS Day 2025. Let's call it Abia mapping. The same thing we called it. This is the QGIS file. We'll click on save. So now you have saved the project. Now, one thing you need to do after opening QGIS project is also to add your base map. You don't need to download base maps, as I said earlier. So for QGIS, you see these XYZ tiles here. So if I open this, I've added the one that will be there by default is this OpenStreetMap. Then we have Google satellites. I can add any of them. Let me add OpenStreetMap. Right click and add layer to project, and you have it here. This is OpenStreetMap. Then you have this Google satellites as also another base map you can add. Wait, let me just add it. Add layer to map. What I did is I right click and I said add. So this is Google satellites. So you don't need to download start downloading satellite imagery to start your reference. You have the satellite imagery for the whole world. And then if you want, even if it is the normal Google Maps, the one you see on your phone, that one is called Google Terrain. So let's go to our browser, let's search for it, whether we'll see it. Okay, so let me search for URL for Google Terrain. QGIS XYZ tiles. Let me search for this. Let's see whether we'll get it. Okay, I've seen it. So this is the URL. So I'm just going to copy it. Okay, it's copied. Let me come to this XYZ tiles, right click, new connection, and I'll call this one Google Terrain. And I'll paste the URL here. Control V. I'll click on OK. Just leave the rest default and then click on OK. So here now we have Google Terrain. We can click on add the current project. Okay, seems like the URL was wrong, so we search for another. This is an entirely different base map. The URL is wrong, so search for it again. But I'll get the correct URL for it. That's not the correct one. Let me browse this website and see if I can get it. Okay, so they have for road map for terrain. Okay, let me use this. It should be this one. Let me copy. Let me remove this one. Remove connection. Okay, XYZ tiles, right click, new connection, Google Terrain. Then we'll paste the URL here. Let's click on OK. I can just click, drag and drop here. Let's see how it goes. Okay, and here it is. So this is the Google Terrain base map, which is when you open your Google Maps on your phone, this is the type you see. So you observe that I can easily add any base map I want, so I don't need to download and start georeferencing. If I want to add this inside ArcGIS Pro, it's also similar process. Let me turn this off. I'll just come to this map tab. Then instead of add data, I'll click on this drop down and then I'll say from path and I'll paste the URL here and then I'll click on add. What this does is that it's going to add Google. Like you can see now, I have a base map with which to work with to digitize my features and all that and do any other thing I want to do with it. We have short time remaining. Okay, so let me just hurry up. So we have these base maps. So which one we'll be working with, Google Terrain or Google Satellite, depending on what we want. Then for adding data, we can add our data sets by coming to layer, then add layer. So here I can say add vector layer, and then I can come here and select roads or back to desktop, GIS day, and then I can start selecting the layers from here. ng admin, admin 1, admin 2. Let's see, is this where I saved my data sets? Yes, so you can see them here. And click on here and click on add. So let me show you how you could replicate what we did in ArcGIS Pro. You could duplicate the layers, right? But now this under the layers pane, this admin 2 is for the local governments. Admin 1 is for the states. So I can right click on this admin one, go to properties, and then that definitive query is not here, but we have something similar. I'll click on this source tab under the query builder here. Now I can write my query here, and I'll say name one is equals to, then here I'll click on generate sample, or I'll click on all, and I'll choose Abia here. So I'll double click on it, and I'll click on OK. Once I click on apply and I click on OK, you can see that it's only Abia State that is showing now. Initially it was showing Abia State and the whole of Nigeria, right? So now you are seeing Abia State here. The same with the local governments. If I want to just show the local governments, I'll replicate the same thing. If I want, I can click here, come to properties, source, then query builder, and this one is name 2. Name 2 is equals to generate all. If I want a bar node, let's just say we're using a bar node. If I click on OK, and I click on apply, I click on OK, you can see it, a bar node is here. But I can go ahead and remove them. Let me remove them all. And the next thing we could do is under this browser tab, I can browse through the folders in my computer. Okay, so let's see if we could browse through the folders in our computer. Here is favorites, here is home. So let's go to home and let's go to desktop. Let's see if we can browse through. And this is the GIS Day 2025 folder we created, and here is the GIS Day 2025 subfolder we created, and this is the GDB geodatabase we created in ArcGIS Pro. And if you observe, I can also load those data sets directly here. If I just click and drag and drop here, it has loaded it here. Forget that the color does not match. Usually when you load any data sets into ArcGIS or any form of GIS software, it will give it a default color, and then the admin 0, the admin 1, all these data sets are here. Can drag and drop, and we have it. The other thing we did is for digitization. If you want to digitize roads, let's replicate what we did here. Now, if you want to digitize roads, what I recommend you do firstly is here's folder GIS Day 2025. I can where did I save this project? Okay, this is where I saved it. Okay, so I can right click here and click on new, and I'll call this one shapefile. New folder, and I'll call it shapefiles. Shapefiles like this. And then when I come here, I can come to layer, click on create new shapefile layer, right? And this time around I want it to be okay, I'll give it a file name. I'll click on this and I'll go back to that folder I created. Here is the mapping shapefile. I'll open this folder and I'll call it let's say roads test. I'll click on save, and then geometry road is a line. This is coordinate system, geographic coordinate system. I'm supposed to change it to projected, but leave it like that for now. Can add a field like field for name, and then I'll click on add to field list, because name is a text string. Okay, and I'll click on OK. That's okay for me. Let me turn on my Google satellites. Okay, and now if I want to digitize a particular road, like this is about a road, you can select this road, right click and toggle editing, and then you can see from the options say add line feature. You can click on this and then start tracing the road. Okay, Now once I right click, prompt me for an ID. Let me call this one and call this one Aba Owerri Road. Aba Owerri Road. I can digitize more roads, but I already have the road, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just showing you the exact steps of what I did. Now if I toggle the editing, I can click on save. All right, or you can see this pencil icon here. I can edit it. Now I can't edit it. If I click on it again, I can edit it. You can see the pencil icon on it. If I click on it, the pencil icon is not there. I can't edit it. So I can also create another layer. Come to create new shapefile layer, right? And I'll click on here. I'm back to this same folder, shapefile folder, and I'll call this one buildings. Buildings test. Okay. Now click on save. But buildings is the geometry of buildings is polygon. Okay. And I'm leaving the coordinate system the way it is. I can add name. Name is this, and I'll click on add. So I'll click on OK. Now let's turn on our satellite hybrid. And then for the buildings, we can just click on this icon again and click on this particular one. We can start tracing buildings that we want. Or if we want to trace all the buildings in Aba, this is how we go ahead and start tracing it. So like this is Christ Embassy. So once you click on it, you can add a name. You can call this Christ Embassy. I'll click on OK. So that's how we digitize features in QGIS. So these things that I did in ArcGIS Pro, I've also replicated them in QGIS. All these things are possible. And once you do this, you can save it here. Then from here, make your map. Our time is almost up, so I think I won't be continuing. It's not possible for you to cover GIS in just one day, but today we just try to explain the basics of GIS and two GIS softwares, which are ArcGIS Pro and QGIS. We can use any of them. Meanwhile, ArcGIS is a licensed software. You have to pay for it to get it. By virtue of this GIS day, their ArcGIS Pro, they will offer us some licenses. They offer us 3 licenses. So I am using one, and my co-host will be using one. So it's just one that is hanging. I don't even know the criteria I will use to give out that last one. Okay. But for now, I don't think I'll continue. I'll open the floor for questions and observations, and everyone could drop their comments and observations and all that, so that we close for the GIS Day 2025 events. So this was what we covered. For those who came late, this was what we covered. GIS Day. Okay. So this was what we covered for the GIS Day event. So I hope we are together.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Before I close, let me quickly tell you. You can download satellite imagery from USGS Earth Explorer. Okay, this is where I download my Landsat imagery. I want to do remote sensing. So these are websites to download satellite imagery. Okay, I won't be covering much on this. So the floor is open, please. The floor is open for your observations and your comments and your questions. If you ask and if anyone has an answer to the question, please go ahead and answer the question. I want to stop sharing. Okay, so the floor is open, please. You guys should go ahead, please.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and
Good
good
evening.
evening. Present. Uh, just I want to appreciate you, our presenter, for doing a wonderful job. Though I entered late, I didn't really get the GIS, the introduction and definition of terms. But I really grabbed some stuff, and I want to encourage you to keep it up. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That's my elder brother. I really appreciate for the encouragement and everything. God bless you. We I just like what I showed on the slideshow. GIS stands for Geographic Information System, and GIS is used to map events where something is happening and all that. So that's just the basic of GIS. So does anyone has any other observations and all that? Okay, I guess there is no more questions and no more observations. So at this point, I want to take a time to thank you all for making this GIS Day event successful. God bless you all for attending this GIS Day, and then we'll call it a day for now. I wish you all a happy GIS Day and happy mapping. And even if you're not you don't do GIS, I wish you success in the work that you do. So thank you very much and have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.